Alright, today we're going to talk about expanded notation, and it's a lot like expanded form. So if this was the ones, tens, hundreds, comma, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, okay? Then when we're in the ones column, right here, we're counting by ones. When we're in the tens, we're going to count by tens. When we're in the hundreds, we're going to count by hundreds. And we're in thousands, we're going to count by thousands. 10,000s, we're going to count by 10,000s. And 100,000s, we're going to count by 100,000s. Okay, so each place value you're going to count by whatever is the name. So ones, let's look at this. Let's say, erase that. At the top, let's say the ones we're going to count by ones. The tens, we're going to count by tens. The hundreds, we're going to count by hundreds. The thousands, we're going to count by thousands. The 10,000s, we're going to count by 10,000s. And the 100,000s, we're going to count by 100,000s. Okay. So what this looks like is if I have the number 452, okay, that means I have 400 in this block, or I have 400. I can also write it as 4 times, I'm in the 100 spot, so I'm going to count by 100. Okay, then I'm going to look at the next box, which is 5 times, and I'm going to count by tens because it's in the tens house. Okay, so see how that matches there. And then the last one, I'm going to times by 1. So I'm going to take this 2 and times it by 1. Because if I was to count 2 dots, I would get 2. This equals 400, 100, 200, 300, 400. So count by hundreds, I would get to 400. This is 5 tens, I'm going to count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And this I'm going to count by ones. 1, 2. So 452 is the same thing as 452 is the same thing as 452. Now is the little bit harder is the expanded notation. 4 times 100 plus 5 times 10 plus 2 times 1. Again, these labels I just got by whichever house the number is in. Alright, we're going to try another one. Okay, so this is the ones column, so I'm going to times it by 1. This is the tens, so I'm going to times it by 10. This is the hundreds, so I'm going to times it by 100. This is the thousands, I'm going to times it by 1,000. This is the 10,000s, so I'm going to times it by 10,000. And this one's the 100,000s, so I'm going to times it by 100,000. So whatever house it's in is just what you're going to multiply it by. Okay, so let's say we have the number 5,672. I'm going to bring this 5 down, times, and whose house is it in? It's in the thousands, so we're going to times it by 1,000. Because if I count by thousands, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, I'm going to have 5,000. Okay, then we're going to bring the 6. We just put parentheses to group it together. 6 times, it's in the hundreds house, so I'm going to times it by 100. Plus, which equals 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Plus 7, and he's in the tens house, so I'm going to multiply by 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And then the last one is a 2 right here in the ones house. So 2 times 1, 1, 2. Okay, so 5,672 is the same thing as 5,000 plus 600 plus 72, or 5,000 times 5 times 1,000, 6 times 100, 7 times 10, and 2 times 1. We'll keep working on expanded notation, but one way to make it a little bit easier is just to put times whatever the house it's in. Okay, so you guys are pretty good at ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. Just put the times in front of it, and then you just plug in the number with it. Alright, so we'll keep working on that, but that is expanded notation.